Hiya troops, welcome to today's maths. Now, yesterday we were multiplying a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. Today you might have guessed that we're adding on one extra final step, which is going to be multiplying a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. That's as big as it's going to get, guys. We're going to rock it. All right, so to begin with, got a little starter here recapping yesterday's work. We got Tom is been using the formal method, and as a theory, is he correct? So he thinks the digit 1 will not appear in his calculation if he uses a formal written method to solve 462 times 29. Pause me, have a think, and then let's solve it together. Right, okay, so if I'm honest, I'm not sure. I'm wondering whether perhaps Tom thinks this because the number he's multiplying is an even number, but I think we're going to have to find out, aren't we? So I've laid it out the same way that Tom would have done. I've got my first bit. So this is my multiplier here. First step is to do 9 times 462. So 9 times 2 is going to be 18. I'm going to carry over my 1. 9 times 6 is going to be 54 plus the 1. I'm going to put my 55 here. And then, oh gosh, that was a bit bigger than I expected. And then 9 times the 4 in the hundreds is going to be 36 plus the 5 is going to equal 41. Put the 4 there. The 1 there, sorry, carry over the 4. I've noticed something already. Let's get through to the end and then we will talk about it. Right. Then we've got 20 times 462. I've underlined my 0 there to remind me it's my placeholder. Makes my answer 10 times bigger, yeah? So now I'm going to do the 20 times the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times the 6 is 12. Put my 2 here. Carry my 1 over. And then 2 times the 4 will be 8 plus the 1 is equal to 9. Final step, we need to add them. So 8 at 0. 5 at 4. 1 and 2, 4 and 9. I'm going to put my 3 there, carry my 1, nothing else to add it to. So my answer is 13,398. Now, Tom said we wouldn't write the digit 1 at all. Well, actually, he was incorrect quite a lot. We had 2 lots of 1 that we carried here. You can see I've crossed them out now, but we carried those. You've also got the digit 1 in 9 times 462, and then we've got it in our answer there as well. So no, Tom, you're incorrect, but we had to check it to see, didn't we? Right. Like I said, today, 2-digit by a 4-digit. Now, just looking here, I've got my number sentence here. I've got it written out properly here. Couple of questions. What do we do with the multiplier? What part actually is the multiplier? And why would these help us? Pause me, have a think about how you'd answer that. Right. Hopefully you remember this bottom number is our multiplier. And hopefully the 10, for me, I always write out the place value columns just as a reminder, just to keep me kind of in check, making sure I'm lining it all up. But it also here, we know that we're going to do it in 2 steps. We multiply by the 1s of our multiplier, so the 5 1s, and then we multiply by the 3 in the 10s. 3 10s is 30. Okay, so it's just a really useful reminder there. Okay, now I'm going to have a go at answering this. Hopefully, like I said, it's going to seem really familiar to you because if we did a 3-digit by a 2-digit yesterday, all we've got is 1 extra column in the thousands to multiply. Okay, so our multiplier is our bottom number, and we're going to start by multiplying this top number by 5. So it'd be 6,328 times 5. Okay, so 5 times 8 is going to equal 40. I put my 0 there. I carry my 4. 5 times 2 equals 10. Add the 4 is going to be 14. And remember, I think it's really useful to cross out as you've added so that you know you've done it. Okay, 5 times 3, 15. Add the 1, 16. So we carry a 1 again. And then 5 times 6 is 30. Add the 1, 31. Carry over the 3. And I haven't got anything else at times, so it'll be, there we go, so 31,640. Next bit, we're going to do 6,328 times 30. Can you remember? What do I need to put in? Yes, my placeholder 0, okay? It's going to make everything 10 times bigger, so now I can just focus on using that 3 in the 10. So 3 times 8 is 24. Put my 4 here, carry my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 is 8. I haven't got anything to carry over that time. 3 times 3 is 9. Again, no carryover. And then 3 times 6 is 18. So if I put my 8 here, carry the 1, and put that there. Oh, I got a bigger number. That's the only thing. As we multiply kind of larger numbers, our answer ends up larger. It's what we'd expect, really, isn't it? So final step is adding it. 0 add 0, 0. 4 add 4 is 8. 6 add 8 is 14. So put my 4 here. Carry my 1. 1 add 9 is 10, plus the 1 is 11. Again, I've got 1 to carry. 8 add 3 is 11, plus the 1 is going to be 12. And then 1 plus the 1 here is 2. So the answer should be 221,480. Bigger numbers, some bigger multiplications, but really, essentially, the only difference between today and yesterday is we've got a thousands column to multiply as well. All right, so I'd like you please to have a go. Pause me here. This is your turn. Perhaps you can lay it out exactly how I've laid mine out. Have a go, and then let's check the answer. Right. Hopefully then you got the answer, 199,366. If you got anything different, check. Did you do 3 times 2,402, 80 times 2,402? And did you remember that placeholder? Okay, if you're not sure, drop me an email. Right, got a little word problem for us here, troops. So we've got Brian's computer has 2,471 files saved on it. Each uses 15 megabytes of memory. How much memory is used altogether by these files? Right, let's do our rucksack then. So, first things first, we've read the question. Secondly, we underline. Remember, we're going to underline the key details in this question. First thing I'm going to say is the numbers are going to be important. And I'm going to say, so 2,471 files. Each one uses 15 megabytes of memory. How much is used altogether? So remember, altogether is going to give us a clue there that there's going to need to be some adding or multiplying when we have things all together. Okay. Now I know if I've got I've got either 15 lots of 2,471 or the other way round. So I'm going to lay this out exactly. I'm going to choose to do a multiplication, which will also involve some adding here. So I'm going to put a little add there to remind me. And the thing that I'm going to do to solve this question is going to be 2,471 times 15. Okay. So again, I'm not going to write the steps only on the side, only because of time, but I'm doing this in 2 steps, aren't I? This is my multiplier, 15, and I'm going to do, starting with a 5. So I'm going to do 5 times 2,471. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Put my 5 here, carry my 3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 3 is 23. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2, that's going to be 12. Okay, I might go off the screen a little bit here. Apologies if I do. Next step is going to be 10 times 2,471. Remember, placeholder. It's going to make everything 10 times bigger, so now I can focus on that 110. So 1 times 1, 1 times 7, nice and easy here. 1 times 4. And, oh gosh, I shouldn't have put that there. Sorry. Let's get rid of that quick. Should have put my add sign elsewhere. 1 times 2. That ends up there. And now I'm going to add them. So 5 add 0 is 5. 5 add 1 is 6. 3 add 7 is 10. Carry my 1 over. 4 add 2 is 6 plus the 1 is 7. 1 add 2 is 3. And then if I put my comma in there, I've done my solving. I've got my answer there. And if I wanted to check, well, I'm going to leave this as a bit of a challenge to you. Perhaps if I wanted to complete my final step of rucksack and check my answer, how might I do it? What calculation, or are there a couple of different calculations I could do? You can always let me know and send your work through. Okay. Right, this I want you to do a little bit of estimation for, okay? So we've got plans, so like a little picture of the playing field and the outdoor pool in Twinkletown, okay? So they're not to scale, this is just roughly the plans for them. So which one has got the greater area? Is it a playing field with a length of 5,423, the width of 87, or is it the pool with a length of 6,904 and a width of 64 metres? Before you go any further and start working it out, have a prediction. What do you think is going to be the answer here and why? Perhaps you can write down your reasonings. Then have a go at working them out using the same method that we use. Remember, area is a space inside when you multiply the length by the width. Have a go and then let's check the answer together. Okay. Right, I imagine that one probably took quite a lot of time because there were two big calculations to do there. For me, my prediction would be that the playing field would be larger because it's got, although it's smaller, the length is smaller, its multiplier, the width, the 87 there, is bigger. But I don't know, I could be entirely wrong. So 5,423 times 87 metres for the playing field, that'd be 471,801 metres squared, big old number. And this area of the pool would equal, you do these two multiplied, and would be 441,856 metres squared. So, therefore, I was correct. But that was, I'm not going to lie, that was all estimation, no working out from me there. So, see how you got on. If you've got any errors there, have a look back and check those steps and see where you might have gone wrong. Okay. Right, with this one, I've got 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to tell you how this one works, so that hopefully, if there's a question similar in our activities that we put up for you, you'll be able to solve it. So, we've got, can you spot and correct the errors in this calculation? We've got, it's laid out in the formal method. I know this first step is 3 times 2,534. If I just check, 3 times 4 is 12. Yeah, got the 2 there, carried over the 1. 3 times 3 is 9. But they haven't added the 1 there. So we've got one error here. If I circle it for you. So this should have been, instead of 9, it should have been 10 with 1 carried over. And I believe there is another bit that hasn't been carried over. I'm just going to show this one. So the exchange 10 wasn't added. Aha. And then, yeah, this next bit. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't spot it straight away. With this next one, we're doing 20 times 2,534. This person has done 2 times 2,534. Straight away, you can see that they're missing the placeholder. Everything should be moved 1 column to the left. It should be 50,680, okay, to make it 10 times bigger. So this is what the answer should have been, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're feeling confident. Like I said, it's just one extra step. You're going to end up with some bigger numbers today than you would have done yesterday. Okay, but what we want you to do is we've got 6 questions for you to have a go at here. I would recommend everybody try at least 3 because just with bigger numbers, errors are kind of easier to crop up. I know I make the marvellous mistakes with it all the time. So have a little go. Make sure you lay it out clearly. Once you're finished, come back and check with me. You can pause me and then unpause me. I'll show you the answers and then we'll go from there, okay? Right, hopefully you've had a go at those. If I show here, what I think is useful is you can see, oh, here we go. You can see each step. So you even if your final answer isn't correct, you should be able to see where you might have gone wrong. So perhaps you got the first step correct, but not this one. But have a look. Identify if there's any areas you need to work on, anything that you feel is going wrong. Perhaps it's the placeholder, perhaps it's the add-in at the end, and have a practice of those. If you're feeling good, feeling confident, you can jump straight on. We've got some problem solving and reasoning questions that are on the website. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. You have been smashing it this week, and I'm looking forward to moving on to a little bit of division with you next. All right. Take it easy, guys.